Over time, the film's reputation has evolved. Some claims have been challenged, some arguments debated, but its cultural significance remains intact. It represents a moment when documentary film crossed into mainstream political force, when a feature-length critique competed with blockbuster movies, when audiences lined up not for escape, but for confrontation. Today, Fahrenheit 9/11 is often revisited, not as a final word, but as a snapshot, a record of how fear reshaped a nation's priorities, how emergency became policy, how war became normalized. The film does not pretend to be objective, and that is part of its honesty. It declares its position and invites viewers to engage, argue, reject, or reflect. It does not ask for trust, it asks for attention, and that may be its most lasting lesson. Democracy does not fail all at once. It erodes quietly, through silence, through apathy, through the belief that questioning is dangerous. Fahrenheit 9/11 insists that questioning is necessary. It asks what happens when grief is redirected into obedience, when trauma is turned into leverage, when fear becomes the loudest voice in the room. You do not have to agree with the film to feel its weight. You only have to recognize the atmosphere it captures, a time when the world felt permanently unstable, when answers were demanded quickly and consequences arrived slowly. As the film ends, it does not offer resolution. There is no victory, no clean conclusion, only a reminder that power depends on participation, that silence is never neutral, and that the most important moments in history are often the one where people decide whether to look closer or look away. Long after the credits roll, that question remains. Not just what happened, but what we allowed to happen. Kinsey's work leads to the publication of Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, followed later by Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. These books do not tell people what to do. They do something far more dangerous. They describe what people are already doing. The reaction is immediate and explosive. Supporters praise the research as groundbreaking. Educators call it overdue. Ordinary people recognize themselves in the data and feel, perhaps for the first time, less alone. But opposition arrives just as fast. Religious leaders condemn the work. Politicians accuse Kinsey of corrupting public morals. Newspapers frame the research as an attack on family values. The film carefully shows how controversy is rarely about facts alone. It is about fear of destabilization. Kinsey's findings do not create new behaviors. They reveal existing ones. And revelation, for many, is intolerable. At the heart of the film is Kinsey himself, portrayed not as a provocateur, but as a man almost baffled by the reaction. He does not see himself as radical. He sees himself as accurate. The disconnect between intention and impact becomes one of the film's central tensions. Kinsey's personal life mirrors this complexity. His marriage is unconventional, built on communication rather than secrecy. His belief that honesty leads to understanding extends into his private relationships. The film does not romanticize this. Instead, it presents it as another experiment, one that carries emotional consequences science cannot measure. As the backlash grows, funding is threatened. Institutions that once supported Kinsey distance themselves. The same curiosity that was praised as intellectual bravery is now framed as moral danger. The Cold War climate intensifies suspicion. Anything challenging tradition becomes labeled un-American. The film shows how easily scientific inquiry can become politicized. What makes Kinsey compelling is its refusal to turn the story into a simple battle between good and evil. There are no villains twirling mustaches. There are concerned parents, nervous administrators, Lawmakers reacting to pressure. The conflict is cultural, not personal, and yet the cost is deeply personal. Kinsey's health deteriorates. His workload becomes relentless. The emotional toll of carrying thousands of people's secrets begins to weigh on him. The film subtly suggests that listening, without judgment, requires enormous strength. To hear everything and react to nothing is its own kind of burden. As the years pass, Kinsey's work permanently alters public conversation. Language changes, education evolves, silence weakens. But acceptance does not arrive easily. Even after his death, his research remains contested, debated, and misunderstood. The film's legacy is not about winning an argument. It is about opening a door. Kinsey reminds us that progress often begins with discomfort, that knowledge is not neutral once it enters society, and that asking questions can be more disruptive than making demands. The film does not suggest that data alone solves cultural tension. It suggests something more modest and more radical. That understanding begins with listening. That judgment thrives in ignorance. And that secrecy allows fear to grow unchecked. Over time, the conversation around Kinsey's work has matured. Critics reevaluate methods. Scholars contextualize conclusions. But few deny the impact. His research forced society to acknowledge itself, stripped of mythology. Today, Kinsey stands as a quiet but powerful film about courage that does not shout, about revolution that does not march, about a man who believed the truth, when documented carefully enough, could speak for itself. The final impression the film leaves is not scandal, but reflection. How much of what we consider normal is simply unexamined tradition? How often do we mistake silence for virtue? And how many truths remain buried, not because they are harmful, but because they are inconvenient? Kinsey does not demand agreement. It demands honesty. And perhaps that is why, decades later, the questions it raises still feel unsettling. Because the most dangerous idea is not desire, it is knowledge.